players died from assassination or car accidents. Today, let's take a look at football superstars who almost died that you may not know with WowScore. First, let's come to legendary goalkeeper Petr Cech. Have you ever wondered why he always plays with a protective skull cap on his head? Cech sustained a head injury in the match against Reading in 2006. In an attempt to rush out to block the Reading player's attack, he collided with midfielder Stephen Hunt. Doctors quickly entered the pitch and gave him first aid, but his head injury was very serious and they had to immediately take him to the Royal Berkshire Hospital. He was quickly examined and diagnosed with a skull fracture. Doctors immediately operated to save this goalkeeper's life. During the surgery, the doctors removed 2 pieces of broken skulls from Cech's head. If they had stuck deeper, the Czech goalkeeper's life would not have been saved. Yet 3 months later, he was starting a Premier League game with a protective skull cap, and since then, that protective cap has been associated with him until he retired. Cristiano Ronaldo is a prolific player with a hobby of collecting supercars, and he also has a habit of driving those supercars to the training ground. However, he was extremely lucky to survive a near-fatal car accident. That was January 8, 2009, just 3 days after he bought the expensive Ferrari GTB 599. That day, Sir Alex Ferguson asked the whole team to have an earlier training after last weekend's humiliating loss. All the players were present except Ronaldo. He fell asleep, and when he woke up, he received plenty of messages and missed calls from Sir Alex and his teammates. He only had 20 minutes to get to the training ground, which was quite a distance, and Ronaldo decided to drive his Ferrari. And an unfortunate thing happened. His Ferrari car lost control due to a few oil spills, and an accident was inevitable. The impact was so great that the front of the supercar was completely demolished. Luckily, Ronaldo has escaped unharmed. He only suffered a few small scratches on his body after that terrible accident. After experiencing that terrible accident, Ronaldo focused more on playing football and gradually became one of the best players in the world. Now let's come to the story of another famous player, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The story was revealed by the notorious murderer Peter Mangs. Peter is known as the street hunter of Malmo. He participated in 7 murders between 2003 and 2010. He revealed in his new book that he had planned to shoot Ibrahimovic because he didn't like the way Ibrahimovic parked his car. Of course, Peter knew that Ibrahimovic was a contemporary football star, but he felt uncomfortable with the way the Swedish striker drove and parked his expensive Ferrari and wanted to cause a scandal with the media. The murderer hurried home to fetch a gun to shoot Ibrahimovic. Thankfully, Ibrahimovic's car had been moved before Mangs returned with a firearm, and the crisis was averted. A gifting young player of Sporting CP also had an incident that almost took his life. His name is Bruno Tavares. Bruno Tavares is a gifted player of Academy Sporting who is also compared to Cristiano Ronaldo. Tavares narrowly cheated death in an unfortunate event, specifically on November 8, 2020, while he was in a car with his pals to go shopping. One of his pals was understood to have produced a loaded pistol as part of friendly banter. However, the weapon is said to have gone off accidentally, striking the footballer in the chest. He was rushed to the hospital and underwent emergency surgery. After surgery, he was saved from the scythe of death. Police began searching for the shooter due to the illegal use of a gun. As for Sporting CP, they were considering disciplinary action against Tavares once he has recovered from his wounds. If you are a Premier League fan, you will surely know this guy. He is Fabrice Muamba. In 2012, Tottenham faced Bolton in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Muamba played for Bolton. In the 42nd minute of the match, the referee stopped the match because Muamba suddenly collapsed. Medical staff immediately made the prompt treatment on the pitch. Coaches, players and fans are all very worried about him because he stopped breathing and died clinically on the field for 78 minutes. When the medical staff could no longer provide treatment on the pitch, they transferred him to the hospital. It is known that when he arrived at the hospital, he continued to stop breathing for 30 minutes before regaining consciousness. Until now, the doctors who performed emergency care for him still do not understand why he could recover in that condition. His case is considered a miracle in world medicine. After that accident, Muamba decided to retire from football when he was only 23 years old. He would choose a safer career path. When you look at these runs, can you believe that Eriksson suffered a dangerous cardiac arrest 2 years ago? This incident happened during the match between Finland and Denmark at the 2022 Euro. In the 43rd minute, he collapsed on the turf, though he did not collide with anyone. The medical staff instantly entered the pitch and treated him. The faces of the players and coaches clearly showed concern for the Danish midfielder. Eriksson's wife could not calm down and made it down onto the pitch. Then, Denmark's captain, Simon Kjær, consoled her. After a period of first aid, Eriksson was able to regain consciousness. He was transferred to Copenhagen Central Hospital for treatment and recovery. After a miraculous recovery, he is back on the pitch with an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, ICD. He then moved to Manchester United and gradually became an irreplaceable player for the Red Devils. A head collision almost took the life of a talented player. That's the story of Dynamo Kiev's captain Oleg Gusev. The collision happened during the match between Dynamo Kiev and Dnipropetrovsk in 2014. During an attack, Oleg Gusev suffered a serious injury after a nasty collision with goalkeeper Denis Buyko. Dnipro's midfielder, Jaba Kankava, immediately rushed forward, flipped Gusev onto his back and put his hand in his mouth to prevent the player from swallowing his tongue. The action caused Kankava to injure his finger. However, doctors have confirmed that without Kankava's action, Gusev would have lost his life in that situation. Respect Kankava. So, do you know any other players who've escaped the scythe of death? Please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe to update the latest videos.